Here we have a question from exercise 5.6 in your textbook, question 1A. We're told that the selling price is $2,150 and we're told that the expenses are $300 and the net profit is $850. We're asked to determine some of the missing values, including the amount of markup and the cost price, including the rate of markup based on cost and the rate of markup based on selling price. We're also told that there's a markdown of 25% and we're asked to calculate the reduced selling price and the reduced profit. So again, I'm going to revert to a typical income statement approach. The income statement starts off with total sales, and we subtract from total sales our total cost, or our cost of goods sold. That leaves us with our markup, which is also referred to as gross profit, by the way. So markup and gross profit mean the same thing. Gross profit is simply the difference between our sales and our cost of goods sold. From that, we deduct our expenses that are not related to a product but are related to operating the business, our operating costs, and that is, in this case, it is a fixed cost of $300. And then we have our net profit. Sometimes this is also called net income, so NI for net income. So how are we going to fill in the blanks here? Again, I'm not going to advocate a formula approach. I'm going to approach this using the income statement approach. Since we have to subtract our expenses from our gross profit to obtain a net profit of $850, you know that in order to work backwards here, we're going to need to add the two. So $850 plus $300 will give us $1,150 for our markup or our gross profit. So once again, all we have to do is fill in the missing blank for our cost price. Our cost price is simply going to be the difference between our $21.50 and our $11.50. So I'm going to subtract the two amounts here, $21.50 minus $11.50. The cost price must have been $1,000, working backwards. So now we have filled in some of our amounts. We now know that the cost is $1,000 and the markup is $11.50. If we want to calculate the markup percentage based on cost, the markup percentage based on cost price, this is simply the ratio between markup to cost, and that would be $11.50 to $1,000. So this works out to 115%. So we've got a 115% markup based on cost. If I need to calculate the markup percentage or the markup rate based on selling price, then it's simply the ratio between markup to selling price, and that would be $11.50 once again, but this time it's going to be based on selling price of $21.50. This works out to a markup percentage or a markup rate that is 53.5%. So a 53.5% markup on retail is equivalent to a 115% markup on cost, irrespective of what the cost or cost price is. The next question has to do with the fact that we are having a markdown. So with a 25% markdown, we can now calculate the reduced selling price. And the reduced selling price is going to be equal to the original selling price of $21.50 multiplied by 1 minus 25%. We're going to deduct 25% from the regular selling price. That means that the reduced selling price now is going to be equal to $21.50 multiplied by 100% less 25%. And that means that we'll be left with 75% of the regular selling price. So our reduced selling price is going to be equal to $21.50 multiplied by 75%. So when I have a reduction or a markdown of 25%, 75% of the regular price is what's left. That gives us a reduced selling price equal to a value of $16.12.50. And now we're ready to calculate some of the other values that are asked for. In particular, what is the reduced profit? So now that we know that the reduced selling price is $16.12.50, I can now start off with selling price is equal to $16.12.50, and I deduct from that My cost price has not changed in spite of the fact that I've reduced my selling price. I still have to pay $1,000 for the product. That leaves me with a markup or a gross profit now of $612.50. So you can see that by reducing the price, clearly our gross profit has been reduced as well. Also, my expenses have not changed. My expenses are still $300. That leaves me with a net income or a net profit, which is a reduced profit, obviously, of $312.50. And now I think we've answered all of the questions that are asked for in Part C.